Live from Central Pennsylvania, this is CBS 21 News at 6.
I keep hearing about this moving of goalposts. Well, quite frankly, they took their ball and went home. They don't have a ball to kick through the goalposts right now.
We're 100 days past the deadline for a state budget, and lawmakers in the Capitol are still playing the blame game. Pennsylvania stands alone as the only state in the country that has not passed a budget for the upcoming fiscal year. But some movement in both chambers could potentially bring this impasse to a close. Thanks for joining us tonight at 6 o'clock. I'm Candace Scalise. We're bringing you team coverage tonight. Joel D. Smith is anchoring our coverage live from the Capitol, joined by Andrew Klein and Grace Ruffalo. And Joel D., the governor just wrapped up a bit of a gaggle. So what can you tell us about what's transpired in the last few hours?
The last few hours, unfortunately, have been like the last few days, meaning 100 of them. I was right here 100 days ago talking about this budget. At that moment, Republicans said it was far too much, and still, Democrats say they need all that money just to run the government. It costs more nowadays, and these are things that everyday Pennsylvanians still need. They are far apart on this. Our Democratic insiders said this is a sad day for Pennsylvania because they are no closer to a budget now than maybe they were 100 days ago. We just heard from the governor. He's still saying that the Senate for the Republicans needs to get their house in order before anything can happen. He's been saying that for a long time as well. Let's get more into this. What actually did happen today? The House did pass a budget, but is it one that is going to be, something that really the Republicans can sink their teeth into and say it's okay? That is doubtful. It did pass. It was 105 to 98. Just a couple Republicans on board with that, but it's still around the $50 billion mark, and that is a non-starter for most Republicans. The other thing they talked about is giving companies, giving the counties, giving the school districts free money in terms of no interest. So it's money for now, they'll have to pay back, but without an interest. So that actually happened today as well. Let's get into what was actually passed in that House budget bill. Some of the details that we want to get into. They say that the money is needed now. They say these are some key areas. We're talking about millions more when it comes to basic education, special education, school facilities, and they want increased education funding to go along with that. But really, they just said things cost more nowadays, so we need that big number. And once again, that is a non-starter when it comes to the Republican side. Let's talk right now to Andrew Klein. He's been covering the residual effects of all of this. What are the consequences when it's been 100 days and you still don't have a budget when you're a county? So Andrew Klein, let's get into some of the real life consequences when you're talking about a county trying to deal with all of this.
Hey, Joel D. Yeah, so the budget doesn't just impact, the county or the government. It impacts you at home watching this newscast. Yes, this impacts you, so it's important to pay attention and know what's going on. And I spoke with multiple county commissioners earlier today. Dauphin County's commissioner, one of them, Justin Douglas, told me the county right now is not taking out loans, but there are a number of services the county is not being reimbursed for. The main one, he told me, is the Human Services Department. So normally, services would be paid back by the state, but with the budget right now not in place, that is not happening. Now, he did share that he is confident that lawmakers would have a deal soon, but he also told me that he's been in contact with the county's budget department, and Dauphin County is losing thousands.
We're at about $300,000 of lost revenue from interest, just meaning that we're borrowing from our savings, which is an account that makes interest, and because we're paying that out, we don't have that money there to make interest.
And I also spoke with a Cumberland County Commissioner, Kelly Niederer, earlier today. She also told me their county is not taking out loans, but she's worried about the impasse continuing past December. That's when the county could face some major issues with their funding. Right now, she says, though, the biggest risk is towards the county's mental health services.
Our mental health funding has been a challenge for all counties. And in June, we reduced our budget by $1.2 million and shortened those contracts to 6 months. So those services and those vendors specifically, I believe, are being hit very, very hard.
When I spoke with each of them, both Niederer and Douglas stressed the long-term importance of getting this budget set, because right now with the budget not set, there could be major hoops to jump through for lawmakers in the near future. Live in Dauphin County, Andrew Klein, CBS 21 News.
Thank you very much, Andrew. So, Grace Ruffalo, you just came out of the meeting with the governor. We didn't know if he would be here today. He was criticized by the Republicans. He hasn't been here for 3 days. He did show up today. What was his main message?
I think his main message today was just calling on the legislature to stay here in Harrisburg, stay here in the Capitol, and get the job done. He said that the Senate, quote, just needs to get its act together. So he's really putting the onus on them to pass this.
They want him to take more leadership. What was his response to that?
It sounded, he was saying that he did his job. He proposed a budget, and he was calling on leaders on both sides to figure out the numbers and come together.
What was his tone? Was it frustrated? Was it resigned? What do you think?
I would definitely describe it as more frustrated. I think he was really just hoping that this would be resolved by now, and he was really just calling on them to come together.
Give me a feel for one of the other questions that he had to answer. Did they get into the big number? I mean, that's been the problem through all of this for the Republican side, saying that he doesn't understand the numbers just aren't there.
Yeah, he did address the numbers a bit there. He was saying that it's the same number. He was saying how the budget was similar to last year's.
Well, that was the number that the Republicans said. So he said things cost more now, and you can't just go with that number, I think is what he said. Okay.
Right.
All right. You also listened to them talk about the House budget. That was a big number as well.
Yes.
The one thing in the budget that caught your eye?
I would say the focus on education was definitely a big thing. We know that Democrats have been talking about that for a long time now, that their big pushback was, well, that they need that money for services like education and human resources and stuff like that.
All right, well, when it comes to that, we're going to talk about this next. Thanks a lot. I know you've been running around the entire Capitol today. A little bit of sweat on you, but that's good for you as a journalist. Thank you very much. Good job today.
Thank you.
Let's talk about some of that money that's out there for the school districts, for the counties. The treasurer says this money is available up to $50 million worth. A bipartisan vote. The Senate approved the measure. It would allow the state treasurer to provide these loans to the counties, waiving the interest on the loan. So Treasurer Stacey Garrity saying this is $500 million. It is there. But the question that was really in the chamber today, does she have the ability to make that decision?
I would remind the members that the Treasurer's Office of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania has no legal nor constitutional power to give out money, to loan money, they don't have the power.
The treasurer can forgive those loans interest rates because that money is sitting in the Treasury and has been since June 30th, unspent and gaining revenue. So the money that is being used to offset that is already being accumulated by our investments.
The House did not take this up today. They said they wanted to work on the budget first before they got into some of those outputs and what needs to happen next with some of those loans. Let's get to this right now. We're saying it's 100 days. That sounds like a lot. It is, but it also is not necessarily too uncommon when it comes to trying to pass something on time here in Pennsylvania. Let's look at the history a little bit. In the past 20 years, the state has passed 13 late budgets. 2 went over 100 days. It was 2009, the democratically controlled House at the time, Republican-led Senate, struggled to find that solution to revenue shortfalls after the Great Recession. Okay, that was 2009. 101 days led to some changes in Commonwealth law, allowing state workers to be paid through a shutdown. So think about that. 2015, that was Democratic Governor Tom Wolf in his first time around, clashing with a fully Republican legislature during that impasse that went on for 9 months, 270 days. So we're not even like a third into that maybe. Ended up with it getting passed into law without the governor's signature. So we are not at that stage yet, but we are unfortunately going there. And as you heard from our insiders, it does not look good right now. But that is your update 100 days in. Unfortunately, not much has changed in the last 100 days since we talked about the budget the first time. We'll keep you up to date on anything that changes, but a big day that didn't turn out to be too much here at the Capitol. I'm Joel D. Smith. Back to you.
And talking some fall-like numbers across the area, yeah, you notice it was a lot cooler out there today by more than 15 degrees. So, yeah, that was our departure from this time from yesterday to what it is right now, 67 in Harrisburg. 66 over towards Carlisle. So numbers are already starting to drop. Winds are backing off a little bit, but we'll still have a light breeze through the evening that will make it feel even cooler. But not seeing any 20-plus mile-per-hour gusts right now. 18-mile-an-hour gusts, though, in York within the past 30 minutes. So there's the front. It continues to push off the coast, and behind it, yeah, some chilly stuff. And we're looking at a freeze watch, which is in place for Mifflin and Juniata County for tomorrow night. Now, the rest of central PA not under that, but I believe the rest of the area will probably be put under a frost advisory for tomorrow night as everyone drops into the 30s, but a better chance for freezing or below the further northwest you go. Look up towards Bradford. They're actually under a freeze warning. So definitely have the light jacket or sweater handy if you're going to be out and about late this evening, because again, temperatures are going to drop pretty quick once the sun's down. We'll have the rest of your forecast, including the season's first nor'easter. Yeah, which could impact the region late in the upcoming weekend. Candace?
All right, Ed, thank you. You know, a Dauphin County neighborhood is recovering after being rocked by a midday murder outside of a convenience store. We're learning more about the shooting that shut Stilton down as police continue searching for the suspect. And one victim of a mass shooting of police officers making strides in his recovery. We're getting a closer look at Lieutenant Godfrey's rehab.
You're watching CBS 21 News at 6.